Hello, my name is Emily, and today on my channel I would like to talk about Cluster B personality disorders. There are 4 Cluster B personality disorders. These include antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD, which is essentially psychopathy or sociopathy, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, histrionic personality disorder, HPD, and borderline personality disorder, BPD. Now, the things I want to cover are the symptoms, characteristics, and treatments for these disorders. So with antisocial personality disorder, these individuals have a blatant disregard for society as a whole. They do not care about or value human life. These are the individuals that you oftentimes will see in prison, or if they're not in prison, the higher functioning ones will be CEOs, police officers, surgeons, etc. Now, in childhood, ASPD traits are known as conduct disorder. In order to obtain an ASPD diagnosis as an adult, which would be between the ages of 18 and 25, you would have to have signs and symptoms or a previous diagnosis of conduct disorder. So the symptoms of ASPD include lying, manipulation, charismatic or charming personality, lack of empathy, lack of remorse, little to no conscience, and as a child they may have the McDonald triad, which is bedwetting, fire setting, and animal abuse. The treatment for ASPD is typically not successful because these individuals have learned to manipulate and work the system to their favor and to their advantage. So typically, these individuals do not get better, and your best bet is just to avoid them if you can, unless they are the higher functioning variety that have successful careers. But the vast majority are lower functioning, unfortunately. Okay, so NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Let's cover that. So narcissistic personality disorder is characterized by grandiosity, wanting to be admired or seen as superior, an intense need to be seen as someone that is above everybody else, lack of empathy, lack of remorse, little to no conscience, and gaslighting and blame shifting and many other symptoms that I don't quite recall. Anyways, NPD is caused by childhood trauma or by overindulgence. Usually it is caused by trauma, though, and a genetic predisposition. So when a child is not given the love and the nurturing in their early years, in the time frame and the window that's called the attachment window, so 0 to 3 years old, if they are not shown love and affection during that time period, they will grow up cold and detached. This is due to a lack of parental love. These individuals oftentimes form what's called a false self. The reason they do that is because they've been so hurt that they feel like they need to mask their pain. So what they do in turn is they inflict that pain onto other people because they don't want to feel it. They're so numb to their emotions, they don't want to feel it. It hurts them. Most of these individuals are treatment resistant, just like ASPD. However, there have been a few success stories with NPD, but these are very uncommon. Most of these individuals don't change. So it's really up to the individual, honestly, to put in the work. But most of them don't believe there's anything wrong with them, and that's part of their superiority complex. Okay, on to HPD, or histrionic personality disorder. Histrionic personality disorder is characterized by flamboyant actions and behaviors. So, for example, they may show off. They are very attention seeking. They might wear makeup or false lashes and dresses that don't cover their boobs or ass, to say it bluntly. But they feel the need to show off because they're insecure about who they are. They do not know themselves. And so in order to feel like they are actually worth something, they have to put themselves out there to be noticed by everyone. Treatments for these individuals can vary. They have a better prognosis than someone with ASPD or NPD, but it's still not 100%. This is also caused by childhood trauma. I forgot to mention ASPD can either be they could be born that way, or they could be made that way through childhood trauma as well. Anyways, back to HPD. HPD, the treatment plans for HPD is usually psychotherapy and DBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy. For some individuals, it may work, and for others, it may not. Now I'm going to move on to borderline personality disorder, or BPD. Borderline personality disorder, also known as emotionally unstable personality disorder, is a serious personality disorder that is characterized by feelings of abandonment and fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, an unstable sense of self, feelings of emptiness, depression, suicidal ideation, and very commonly psychotic episodes. Individuals with this diagnosis are typically volatile. They go back and forth between loving you and hating you, so it's like a love-hate relationship or a love-hate cycle. People with BPD do typically have empathy, but it's not as strong as someone who doesn't have BPD. So they might have empathy in the instance where their image is not at threat. There's not a threat to their image. However, the moment you piss them off is the moment that all empathy is lost. They do have the ability to feel remorse, but they may not always show it. An individual with BPD is oftentimes very clingy, and they will do everything in their power to make sure that you stay. They won't let you leave. And that is because that all stems down to their abandonment issues. BPD is often caused by severe attachment trauma, where that mother and child bond is disrupted during the early years, just like the other disorders. When that bond is disrupted, it can lead to severe psychological damage. And this is essentially physical brain damage. It's physical damage to the brain and the ability to regulate emotions. Some of these disorders actually atrophy the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that regulates emotions and empathy and all those other great things that us typical healthier people have. But yes, so cluster B personality disorders are very serious. BPD can oftentimes be treated with dialectical behavior therapy and psychotherapy. But again, these therapies don't always work. It depends how much the individual wants to put the work in to get better. So, I'm gonna cut this video short and just say that if you are in contact or you have someone with any of these personality disorders in your life and they are being toxic, you need to go no contact, because these individuals will do everything in their power to keep you in their life because they feel empty. They don't feel like that they're good enough. And deep down, these individuals are not necessarily evil, but they are not well. and they will set out to destroy you and your loved ones. So please keep that in mind and protect yourself, protect your loved ones, because a lot of the time, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the time these people don't change. They can, some of them, but they don't. Most of the time they don't, because they don't see themselves as having any flaws. All right, well, I will do more videos another time. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Bye.